and let's talk about the New York Jets and the story there. They get their first win on Sunday, and it's actually my first time on the airwaves since, so I don't know how I'll behave, Jack. But they get their first win, a stupid win, a meaningless win, a damaging win, a potentially franchise-bursting, franchise boomeranging victory about the least productive thing this team could have done was to win a football game. And that's known. That's widespread. Everybody knows it. It's why they're the laughing stock. It's why if you go to Twitter and you're me, you can't not cry a little bit. You can't not break down as you read the tweets that they just come down on you like a volcano, and they make you feel terrible about the fact that you're probably not going to get Trevor Lawrence. And that's where they are. They're probably not going to get Trevor Lawrence. And this entire season, the only thing that has made this not as miserable as it otherwise has been is sort of the light at the end of the tunnel. The same way that with COVID-19, we're talking about the vaccine as the light at the end of the tunnel. I don't want to make a morbid comparison, but here we are, and we're saying, you're losing game after game after game, light at the end of the tunnel. Sometime in April, third Thursday in April, whatever it is, there's going to be a draft, and the Jets are going to land Trevor Lawrence, the Clemson star quarterback, and the fate of the franchise is going to turn forever. That is what has been front and center on the mind of a Jet fan. And I'm wearing green tonight. It's because of Christmas. It's not because of the Jets, because I'm beside myself. But let me just tell you, there's this narrative out there that sort of tells me that I'm not allowed to have this opinion, that I'm supposed to be thrilled that they got a win, that they were able to get a win for some of the young guys in the locker room. I just can't have that perspective. I just can't.
All right. Did you got that out of your system?
I got more, but I'll let you cut in.
Well, let me add something. They should have already had a win by now, right? Like, forget about the makeup of this team. That last play against the Raiders should not have happened, right?
Right, of course. Absolutely.
I mean, what was your reaction after that game, after seeing that?
It was relief. It was relief. It was really, well, it was laughter. It was laughter. I was laughing for an hour after it happened. It was a full, at least a half hour of just laughter. How they lost that game, that they sent the house and all out blitz it was comical. And so I got a good laugh out. I still am. And I honestly was sort of convinced that they threw that game, because it just defied logic in so many ways that it felt like somebody made a call to Greg Williams on the sideline and said, call the zero blitz. We'll let a guy get open over the top and we'll lose this game, and we'll be well on our way to the franchise quarterback. And if that was the case, I would actually give them credit for doing something, intelligent for the first time ever, because the thing that could save this franchise is Trevor Lawrence. It may only be Trevor Lawrence. But here's the thing that I'm seeing. I can't remember who it was on ESPN today, but it was Ryan Clark, actually, and just talking about, look, you, in a football locker room, you have to be competitive. You have to try to get wins. And all the Jet fans who are bashing the team for getting a win, shame on you. Shame on you. Mekhi Becton, the offensive tackle, the big boy at left tackle, who looks tremendous, by the way, tells me I'm not a real fan because I'm lamenting the fact that the team got a win. That's just not right. That isn't true. The difference between being 1-15 and 0-16, as far as I'm concerned, is nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. You're a pitiful franchise. Whatever the result, 0-16, you make a little bit of history. You join one of the few teams to have ever done it. But to me, if it's the difference between Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson from BYU or Justin Fields from Ohio State, then the one win versus those 0 wins mean nothing to me. Nothing, Jack. It means nothing to me. So I don't appreciate that I've been a little bit shamed for this position, which, by the way, I know a lot of Jet fans. I have a lot of friends with whom I commiserate. We all agree on this. We all agree.
Well, I can't blame you for having those, those hopes for your team, the savior and Trevor Lawrence. Everyone wants him, right? But I just want to know what your expectations for this Jets team, what they were and how they compared to the rest of the fan base going into the season.
So I've become an eternal pessimist about the Jets after years of watching this team, and they haven't been good in 10 years, obviously, since the early days of Rex Ryan. And I think we could roll the tape on NFL Friday, the football podcast here at FUV, said that the Jets were going to be a 3-win team, and I somehow managed to underestimate them. I certainly didn't think that I was, lowballing it, but apparently I was, because unless this team finds a way to win 2 in a row, they're obviously not going to win 3 games. But that take relative to the fan base was pessimistic, because this team, let's not forget, won 7 games last year. They won 7 games last year. So this is a massive slide. And I'm also fairly sure that there are games, and you said it earlier, certainly the Oakland game is one. The New England game comes to mind, and there are others that this team could have won if they had a different attitude. But here's the thing. If this was a team that was trying to win games, they would have fired Adam Gase after week 4. You wouldn't have even had to wait till I'm not even exaggerating. You could have done it after week 6, week 8, week 4. Any point in the season you would have had every excuse. Not a person would have grown about it, except the man himself, if you fired Adam Gase and said, all right, let's go get a couple wins and inspire some energy here in the locker room. But they made the decision to ride him out. And the only thing that meant was that their goal this year was to lose as many games as possible. And as many games as possible, namely with 16. And to lose 16 games meant that they were going to get the quarterback that I believe Joe Douglas has envisioned as his franchise quarterback. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. I absolutely believe that is the direction that the franchise has taken. Clearly, Adam Gase is not here after week 17 wraps up. He's done on the Monday after. In fact, he should be done the minute the final whistle blows. He should get a call from Joe Douglas who says, don't come in for our Monday meeting. It's over. It's over, Adam. And move on, and just move on. But here's the problem. They don't get this quarterback. And, I don't know what you think, but do you think that this is a team that stands a chance to win another game? They have the Browns this weekend. And then another note is the Jags, because the Jags, if they get a win, the Jets move back to number 1. That's really the hope right now. The Jags have the Bears. The Jets have the Browns. What do you think?
The Jaguars are not going to win another game. I am fully on the train that the Jaguars now have Trevor Lawrence. And Chris, the reason why I wanted to know what your expectations are, like, even if the Jets win their next 2 games, that reaches your pessimistic projection for the team. Even in the worst possible situation with coaching, they're still not an 0-16 team. That's the best thing I can say about the Jets. The most backhanded compliment I can get. They're not an 0-16 team. Maybe they're a 1-15 team, but you can't just will your way to be the worst team in the league.
I see your case. And I think that is really why there was some juice behind this team finding a way to be 0-16 by virtue of having the worst coach in the history of the National Football League. Because you're right, they're not a true 0-16, an intrinsic 0-16, let's say. They really aren't. They really aren't an intrinsically valued 0-16 team. I agree with that. They won 7 last year. It doesn't make sense that this team could be 7 games worse. But that is how bad this coaching staff, this culture is. Adam Gase, namely. That's how bad he is. It really is that bad. And that tells you all you need to know. But, you know, the hope is that you get Trevor Lawrence, and this team, even without him, is a true, let's say, 4-win team or 5-win team. And then Lawrence can take a 5-win team to 10 wins. I mean, maybe it doesn't take a year. Maybe it takes 2 or 3. But it's certainly the change. And if this is the year of change, if 2020 is the year that was so bad but gives way to something new, something brighter, something better, I look across town in Queens, I look at the Mets, and they've got Steve Cohen, and they're firing on all cylinders. And we're going to talk a little bit about DJ LeMahieu later. And we got juice on the Mets, and we got a new ownership. We got just new energy. Were the Jets going to have that same turn of fate? Something just told me that they were. And now with their pathetic victory over the Los Angeles Rams, all of that is thrown into whack. And all you can do is laugh at this team. It's all you can do, Jack, is laugh at this team.
Yeah, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, man, but as bad as the Patriots have been, I'm happy that I'm not a Jets fan, and you trade it. When I think about it more, like you trade your best player, Jamal Adams, Le'Veon Bell, worst case scenario happened with him in that contract. And Sam Darnold is he the quarterback of the future? If you don't get Trevor Lawrence, man, it is not an enviable position to be in, man.
No, it's not. And I think we were ready to part ways with Sam. It's a shame that it was this quick and this fruitless, but there are other quarterbacks here, and we're going to have to probably start talking about them if and when the number 2 pick is locked in, and that's Fields from Ohio State. And I mentioned the kid Zach Wilson from BYU, who's on a lot of people's radar right now. I don't know a ton about him, but I know that he played really well in the Boca Raton Bowl against Central Florida last night. So we'll keep our eye, but it's just not, that's not going to be giving me the excitement that I've had about Trevor Lawrence for a very long time.